Good morning. This is Bhikkhuni Vimala coming to you on Friday morning. And I hope your day has started out well, or if you're watching me later, I hope you had a good day and things are going well. Let's have I'll aim for a little shorter time today. You might not have enough time for a full 30 minutes, but remember, if you're sitting and we end the video, you can keep sitting, but this is your time and you work with it the way you can. I'd like to just ask everyone to enjoy the day, get outside if you can. I saw bears and deer coming up to people's windows in a Facebook post from Canada just now. And they're looking inside like, where have these people gone? What's happened to our human beings? And I thought, there's a lot of hammering going around my building, so even my squirrels are sort of staying away yesterday and this morning so far. So I hope you don't have bears coming up to your patio doors and looking through, wondering where you've gone. It's wonderful to think that animals are feeling safer and able to be more out and about and maybe live a more natural lifestyle for a while, but we know that's not going to last. So enjoy it while we have it. I think that's pretty wonderful to see. There are amazing things that people do, and the way we find humor and the way we share it with others is pretty remarkable. So it could brighten our day when we're not feeling like it's a very good day or we're tired of the same old thing. And then we can see or read about someone doing something creative. And it's so heartwarming for me. It's so wonderful to see people doing that, because sometimes all it takes is something that you can just get a good chuckle over, or you can just have just chuckle all day thinking about about something somebody's done to be creative. To be creative with their talents, to be creative with the photos they're taking or the things we're getting to find out while we have more time to read or to see what people are coming up with on Facebook or on our internet feed. So keep remembering that humor is a really wonderful thing in this kind of difficult transition we're going through. I'm really grateful to the governor of Illinois that we're having 30 more days. I think we have so many things to consider. So I'm grateful for his decision, and I think it's a wise one for the people in Illinois. So this is a good time to be practicing patience. Don't get overly eager to be running around and being in contact with too many people. We always have our phones, and my mom is blind, so she can't see. We can't FaceTime, but we certainly can talk. So you'll have limits with people that you are not with what kind of technology they can handle or how available they want to be maybe. But take advantage of all those other things. Be creative and find those little moments of joy every day. That's very important for us to do. And it doesn't matter how bad things get in the world. We can always find a minute of joy. We can find one thing, maybe just to step out in the fresh air, or to watch the squirrels or birds or the bears outside. Just something that can lighten up our hearts. And when they become lighter, they become more open. So go for joy. That's better than buying stuff, I think, right? So let's sit together. Just close your eyes. And be with your breath. Being with our breath just means we're focusing in. We're not all over the place. Just give yourself a few minutes. Just to become connected to yourself again. Let go of your list of things you need to do or projects you're in the middle of, and just be in the present moment. And if it's difficult to stay with your breath, just let your focus be on some object. You might have a beautiful crystal you can put in front of you and just gaze at that. But if you can, let it be your breath, because I think we can observe our breath and typically not be so distracted by our breath, because our body's breathing. We're not really in charge of that function other than to breathe more deeply or more slowly. Let's send out compassion today. We can send this out to others. The same way we do this practice can be very much like loving kindness practice. Compassion and loving kindness are connected. But we can send compassion first to ourselves, and feel in yourself what it is that you're lacking, that you need, where you feel you're suffering. And have compassion for yourself. Don't berate yourself thinking, oh, I'm just wanting things for myself. I'm not thinking about other people. Compassion has to begin, just like loving kindness. Compassion has to begin within ourselves, towards ourselves, so we can understand what compassion is. See where you're hurting. Be aware of that. Be focused on what you can give yourself, what you can find for yourself to end your suffering. What do you need? What truly is at the root of that suffering? What do you really need? Let go of any animosity you have towards yourself, any self-judgment. See yourself as a little child. What's hurting? What's scary? What do you really need? And then the adult in you can do what you can do to help ease that pain, ease that suffering. If you feel anxious or worried, have compassion on yourself. Don't feel that you have to be always in charge, always in control, always on top of your game. Be gentle on yourself. Now, when you feel ready, just send that feeling of compassion out to your loved ones. That feeling that if there's something you can do to help them to find relief from their burdens they're carrying, from their stress, from their pain, are there things you can do to help? You can also send them that particular feeling of loving kindness right along with it. Compassion isn't feeling sorry for anyone. It's trying to see if there's something you can do to help a person who is suffering. And sometimes all we can do is to recognize their suffering and to help them get through it, to be a witness to it. Other times there are very practical things we can do. We can go out and feed them. We can help build a house for them. And sometimes we have to be a witness to it. We can have compassion for the struggles that we all create within ourselves. Sometimes then, if we've created it for ourselves, the dilemma, the problem, the suffering, sometimes we have to struggle with it to become aware of it and get out of the situation. Be aware now as we move out further and think about our community. Let's once again work with our state, the state you're living in, or your geophysical community. Those are going to be our next group, the group that includes acquaintances and strangers and difficult people, different people, challenging people. But don't try to go out to the whole world right now. We have to take some steps. So go out to people in your state. There may be a lot of political division in the state you live in. You may agree or disagree with different choices people want to make. But this is a time to have compassion. There's a lot of fear in the world. There's a lot of fear that underlies a lot of the anger that we see. We don't want that fear to be what causes our leaders to make decisions. But it's important to be aware that that's at the root of a lot of anger. So we have compassion for the fear. Don't fuel it. We use compassion in these situations to maintain our own clarity, our own peace of mind. That compassion can keep us from becoming just as angry, just as negative as the person we're standing across from. Compassion can bring us both back, can bring both parties back to their senses, to clarity. It's perfectly valid to have discussions and to see other points of view. But anger and hatred is not the appropriate response when we're trying to make life and death decisions. So feel that feeling of compassion. That you want to help someone where they are in their suffering. And sometimes we can help and sometimes we can't. But we can pray, focus our thoughts on them and them having a good outcome. We can not get caught up in the same internal fear-based reactions they may have. But try to see the other and see where they're coming from. The same way you looked within yourself to see what kind of suffering you were experiencing, what kind of pain, what kind of stress. As we look at the difficult people and the strangers, try to keep seeing through eyes of compassion and a heart of compassion. And keep breathing. Whenever these thoughts in a guided meditation, when the thoughts get overwhelming, if they're too much, just come back to your breath. And now just open your heart and allow these feelings, these thoughts of compassion move out to all living beings, human beings and non-human beings, all the creatures, all the animals, the ones we love and the ones that we are a little afraid of. The humans we've never seen and never experienced what they're going through. We can send compassion to them. Compassion to all of the beings that we aren't even aware of. And just let that compassion go out and out. It's an infinite quality that we can send out. It has no limits. So many people have so much less than any of us do. Their suffering is very real. Their needs are very great. There will always be someone who needs our help. There will always be animals who need a safe place to live. And we can't save all of them, so we have to have compassion for the ones we can't save, compassion towards ourselves for not being able to. We all need to do what we can. But everything we do has to come back to us and begin with us, and begin with a clear mind, a clear heart. We're all working on that clarity that we want to have in our thinking, in our mind, in our behaviors, in our speech. So always come back to yourself. Don't be afraid to take care of yourself and to work on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Take good care of yourself. Now when you're ready, just open your eyes and look around you and see something. See something today that makes you smile, gives you pleasure, gives you joy. May not give you pleasure, but it will probably give you joy. That's what we're looking for today. Some things that are very difficult to do are filled with the greatest joy. So thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll have another 10 a.m. Sunday morning time with you. Thank you. This is a gift to me. Thank you.